Thank you, Co-Chair Professor Yonderes. I mention your name almost every day to those who come for the mock interview for the civil service. And all of them know you, and most of them have read, and most who have read you have understood you. Dear fellow fighters for justice, because Palestine means justice. You know, we speak about the genocide being committed by Israel. Correct. But to get the full picture, we should say the genocide being committed by Israel and permitted by the international community with very few exceptions. Now, the ICJ, I will not say that it is neither international nor a court of justice, as Jawaharlal Nehru once said about the ICS. I have the highest of respect for the ICJ. But at the same time, I should say that it took a small step in the right direction. A calculatedly small step. Another thing is that a strange use of the English language. The mention was made by Mr. Grover, and I agree with every word he said. Plausible. Now, in the text they say, ICJ asks itself a question. Have the violation of the rights of the group as alleged by South Africa have been committed by Israel? And then it says plausible rights. The adjective plausible is applied to rights. Now tell me, as already pointed out, the ICJ says that the Palestinians do come under the ambit of the definition of genocide. And as already pointed out, how many? About 26,000 of them had been killed till then.
29.
No. I mean, when the ICJ verdict was being given. So, well, what is the most fundamental right? The right to life. If you don't have the right to life, what is the use of all other rights? And do the Palestinians have that right? Well, I don't think we have to tell the ICJ about the UDHR, Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So, why did they use the word plausible? Of course, there can be legal argument, lawyers use words, according in their own fashion. But ICJ is meant to give a verdict which is understandable for the international community, not only for lawyers. Now, so my short answer is that, or rather, the question, why did the ICJ fail to call a spade a spade? Well, the short answer is the ICJ did not give a verdict without fear or favor. Justice, the judge is supposed to give a verdict without fear or without favor. Now, that's not what ICJ did. But anyway, this is only the beginning. But now comes another question. Eminent jurists have said it would take months and months, if not longer, for the ICJ to determine whether genocide was being committed. Now, I find it a little difficult to understand. And let me ask the ICJ, what is the point of determining that genocide was committed post factum, after so many thousands have been killed? And why should you take so that long? Are not the facts obvious? So, there is some problem there. Now, let us look at the big picture, because ICJ is only part of the big picture. It's the United Nations highest court, and we know that the Security Council has till now failed. Why? That is because the West, under the leadership of the United States, speaks about a rule-based international order, but that applies only to the West. What happens to the rest of the world doesn't matter. A Western life is very valuable. Non-Western lives, well, they do not practically count. When, civilians die in Ukraine, the West, the governments and the media, correctly, they speak about it. But when civilians die elsewhere, well, sometimes they don't have the time. Now, about Holocaust. I had written an article saying that, is Netanyahu imitating Hitler while Biden is sleepwalking to electoral disaster? Well, it seems that is happening. The only difference between the Holocaust and what is now happening, that this one is televised. That Holocaust, well, we came to know much later. But what is sad is that despite its being televised, the international community is permitting it to continue. Now, to go back to ICJ for a second, 50 states have transmitted their intention to make presentations. I went through the list. I could not locate India's name. Well, the leader of the Global South, Vishwaguru, Vishwamitra, well, please speak up. Let a message go from here through the Kartavya path to the South Bloc. To New York, the Security Council. To The Hague, the ICJ, and to Palestine. Question, is India a diminished democracy? I wouldn't say that. We are not a diminished democracy. We are a self-correcting democracy. And we shall overcome. This too shall pass. Thank you so much.